Punisher, ready for a stand, facing down the system with a plan in hand. Families torn apart, it's a painful sight. They're here to make it right under the moon's soft light. CPS on the doorstep, knocking at the door. Mothers crying, children hiding on the floor. Fighting for the families, hearts heavy yet bold. In every whispered story, the truth is being told. Free our kids, save the family, hold them tight. Every voice, every heart shouted through the night. Fight for the Constitution, stand your ground. It's not over until justice is found. Cats and voices breaking through the noise, speaking for the silence, giving them a choice. Breaking down the walls, lifting up the veils. Truth comes marching in, guided by the trails. They ain't backing down till the dawn's early light. Standing tall and firm, ready for the fight. The world may try to silence, but they won't be ignored. Freedom's melody echoes in every chord. Free our kids, save the family, hold them tight. Every voice, every heart shouted through the night. Fight for the Constitution, stand your ground. It's not over until justice is found. Free our kids, save the family, hold them tight. Every voice, every heart shining through the night. Fight for the Constitution, stand your ground. It's not over until justice is found. They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We've done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids, pictures held up like thin ties. Together we are stronger than we need. We will will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out, CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
What's up, Tiff?
It's still snowing over here, so that's all that's really going on.
You got 10 inches of snow or something like that, right?
Yeah, and more to come tonight. So I guess we'll see exactly how much we end up with.
I feel bad. We're over here in Maine and we got like next to nothing going on.
I wish that's what we had going on.
Yeah, well, wish, right? I'm sure we'll get ours. That's what happens up here in Maine.
Yeah, well, there's another snowstorm coming this weekend, so we're not one and done yet.
Oh boy, that's no good. That's no good at all. So you know what? I got this really cool video from this listener today that wants us to play this, and I think this is really cool. It's a caseworker that is getting questioned in the courtroom, I believe is what this is. And let me just find it here. Let's see. I just was walking. There it is. Okay. Wait till you see this, and everybody pay attention to this too, because this is what we talk about when we always talk about the 72-hour hearing. What they need is when CPS takes your kids, they have the 72-hour hearing that comes about. That 72-hour hearing, when they find you and substantiate you or whatever they call you, that's when their money starts coming in for the Title IV funding. All right. Now this is what I'll just let the video finish itself, and you guys will understand it from there. So here we go. Check this out. Oh, there. Okay. Share. And boom.
Funding. First, the child must be removed from the home, and then second, the court must make that order that continuation in the home is contrary to the child's best interest. That's correct so far, correct?
Yes.
And if those two factors are not satisfied, that is, they're not met, the child's not removed from the home, or the court does not make those specific findings, then the state could lose hundreds or millions of dollars.
Correct.
So it is very important, number one, that the child be removed, and number two, that the court make specific findings that continuation in the home would be detrimental to the child. Otherwise, the state loses millions of dollars.
To receive that funding, yes.
Yeah, and that could be millions of dollars.
It could be.
Yeah, and the state would lose it if those two specific criteria are not met.
Well, not that we would lose it, but we wouldn't then be reimbursed or get that money.
What's the difference? If you don't get the money, you lost the money.
Well, if the kid's never out of care, then we wouldn't need the money to spend on them anyway, to sustain
Right,
them out of care.
Right. We're talking about just the situation under which your state would get money, right?
Right.
If you don't seize a child from the home, you don't get money, right?
Right.
Because the child's not in care, we don't have to provide services, we don't have anything to pay for, right?
Right.
So the only way that the state, your agency, gets money from the federal government is if it removes that child from the home, correct?
I don't know if that's the only way, but I know that's one way.
Under Title IV-E, what do you train your workers about how the state gets its money in relation to the work they do for your agency? What do you teach them?
For the Title IV funding, that's
Yes.
correct. But I don't know about the other grants and all of that stuff.
Okay, the
which is
only thing we're
possible.
talking about right now
Okay.
is the exhibit that's in front of you, Title
Right.
IV funding. In order to qualify for Title IV funding, you train your workers that they must remove that child from the home. That's the first step, right?
Yes.
Then the second step you train your workers is that they must obtain from the court an order that says continuation in the home is contrary to the best interest of the child, correct?
Correct.
And you teach them this. If they don't follow those two steps, your agency does not get the money under Title IV-E, correct?
Correct.
And that the failure to follow those two steps could cost the state millions of dollars, correct?
Yes.
Huh. So, if you're all going to sit there and say that they don't get money for taking children, there it is, right out of the caseworker's mouth.
It sure is. Send that to my email so I can open it up on the TikTok on my other phone.
Yes, I will do that.
Oh
I'll send
my
it to you right
God! Well,
now.
at least she was honest about it. I mean, she must
Yeah,
have been in
tell the truth.
a
Deposition.
deposition.
Yeah. Now there's another one here, but I don't know if this is the same thing. Let me look at it real quick. Let's see, it must be the. Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's why I tell people first one to the courthouse usually wins. File those motions to intervene.
Yep. Because that's when the Title 40 funding starts, is as soon as you get that substantiation. That's it. They're running for the first checks. And then those court dates align with the payments from Title 4 funding. So you get like the substantiation, then you get the 6-month review. You know, like every one of your court dates are aligned with a way for you to get money from Title 4 funding. And then they go in and then they reach into the American Safe Families Act, and then they get the money for the adoption for the child. Which I believe is $6,000 to $8,000 per kid. So all of these dates that they set us up in the courtrooms, all of these are for their benefit to get money. It has nothing to do with the timing of your kid. It has nothing to do with any of that at all. So when they say that they're going to put you under care and all this stuff, and they say for a year, well, that means that they're only getting funding for a year for your child until that point, and then they'll adopt your kid out. The 15 out of 22 months to get them to TPR you. All of that stuff, people, is lined up in line for them to get money from you. That's it. It has nothing to do with them caring about you, being concerned about you, or any of that stuff. It's just lined up for the way that they need to do the things they have to do to get funding from the government and from any of these programs.
They aren't concerned about anybody's kids. They're not concerned with kids who are being abused or sexually trapped. They don't care about none of that. It's all about the money.
Mm-hmm. And that just proves it right there. She just totally said it. They're training their workers that if they don't remove the children from their homes, there's no money for them. So
And that the court has to, and they need a certain piece of paper to corroborate that from the judge.
Which is what they get when you go to the shelter hearing or 72-hour hearing or whatever you guys call it. That's what that is. That starts the process for them to get their Title IV funding. That's why that's the only court case that you see that's on time that they get you into, and they will make sure that you get to that hearing. They'll never miss that one, because that's the one that starts their paychecks. They will never miss that 72-hour hearing. If that doesn't put a pit in your stomach. Because I've been sitting there, what's up, little man? I've been wondering why all of these people are losing their kids. Like, there's anybody that is dealing with CPS is doing reunification services or anything like that at their houses. No one has their kids at home. Everybody's kids have been taken. They're supposed to do an investigation on you. After 30 days, they find nothing, then they let you go. Or they do things that they're supposed to do with you. Do services, do this, do that, or whatever to strengthen your family. They're not doing any of that stuff. None of it. They're taking your kid and they're drawing these monies from Title IV funding. That's what they're doing.
And even if they still don't find anything, they make shit up so that they can keep the child in care.
Yep. Contrary to the best interest of the child. They're thieves. They just said it. That caseworker just said it in that video that they are intentionally stealing children so that they get the money. And they train their workers to do the same.
Yeah, there's a book called "In the Best Interest of the Child," which um, they need to remove that, just like they removed the tender years, right? Because a while back in the 70s and the 60s, oh my God, don't take the child from the mother because of the bonding, da 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 da. So they moved from that to the best interest of the child. But how can a judge, a guardian ad litem, or anybody but a family member or friends who know you say what's in the best interest of a child when they don't know the child?
Right. They haven't even met them. They've met them, and they've gotten an anonymous tip to tell you to come to your house and check in with you, and like you did an investigation, but then they're removing your child, going to the judge, lying about all kinds of stuff that they've seen or haven't seen. Um, but then here they go. They leave the kids that are really hurt and harmed behind because they're damaged goods. They're not adoptable. They're not payable. They're not anything. No one wants those kids. And that's the misfortune. And that's the unfortunate part, because that's the truth. The truth is that no one's going to go and adopt a child that's been beaten to a pulp. I mean, and I hate this. I don't mean to sound savvy like that, but no one wants an abused kid. Everybody that's out there looking for kids want a perfect, like add a kid. You got a perfect 2 or 3 year old that's potty trained, that comes from good family values. They've been taught manners. They've been taught all this stuff. They look good. They're groomed well. They haven't been through any shit. And this is the kids that they're taking. That's exactly it. That's the truth of the matter. And this lady just said it right out. Like, they're going to go there and they're going to take your kids regardless, because that's what they're training them to do.
And that's why I want this, so that I can send it to all my local leaders, and because I'm with the NAACP, and I'm going to send it to the president of the NAACP. This is why we have to keep going.
Yeah, it is. That's just disgusting. It's asinine. I think you can find something else to make their money off of. I'm convinced that the money is the money that the CPS brings in is pretty much funding and carrying our local economies, our state's economies and everything. That's why you see like the increase go up. They have the use it or lose it budgets. I mean, every state is going up at least 4%, and the amount of children that are being taken into service, the amount of children that are being taken into all of these things, and it's freaking awful. Absolutely. Vinny sent me some stuff today that'd just make you sick. Let me look it up here. Let me find where Vinny has changed his name so it doesn't just come up as Vinny anymore. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. Vinny.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, who is this? And then I realized who it was.
Right. Yeah, Vinny the record maker there. Where the hell is it? What the hell is his name?
It's CPS or NCPS. It's one of the.
Oh yeah, that's right. NCPS. There we go. Okay. Number of children who have been removed from homes because of suspected abuse or neglect in Maine continues to increase, the officials say. Yeah, look at those numbers, man. So this is, and he just sent me these things. It says, I think the department is under significant political pressure to remove kids to be on the safe side. Jim Billings, the commission's executive, said at the time, that tends to create more cases and can make more contentious if you're removing kids from the outset on a marginal case. Removing a child from parents, then taking an additional step of terminating parental rights requires an agonizing balance act. Wow. Research has shown that keeping families together, even troubled ones, is beneficial to children, according to the National Coalition for Child Protection Reform. Maine Commission on Public Defense Services reported that a list of parents in custody cases who are waiting to be assigned an attorney had grown by 400%. Wow. Holy smokes. It's crazy.
And if I read, because I think I read some of that, I also thought that I saw, it might not have been that one, but it might have been another one, that these parents that are waiting, now your time starts the minute they remove. So these parents aren't getting lawyers for a whole year.
Yep. They're not coming there to do an investigation or to watch you grow. They're coming there to take your kids and TPR you. That's it. I mean, they just said that. So how that isn't already fraud by using Title IV funds for that way, I have no idea. I mean, she basically just said that that's their intentions, that they train them to take the kids out of the home. Because of the American Safe Family Act, they get an additional X amount of thousands of dollars for adopting that kid. So I guarantee you, they're not going to leave any money left on the table. They're going to go around, they're going to gather whatever they can gather from all the bills, the incentives, and all of that stuff, and they're going to gather every one of them. Guarantee you, that's what dictates how their cases move.
Well, not only that, the judges are involved too, because the judges know they have to set these court dates, because who sets the court dates? The courts.
Yeah.
Wow. Sick.
It just makes you so irate. To know that you didn't, and to think about how hard you try and how hard you fight for your kids, and the things that you do, and the things that you lose, and the things that they lose, and all of that, and never to even have stood a chance to win. Like you were written off. You were written off. They weren't going to let you have your kid back. No matter what you did, it didn't matter. No matter what you put yourself through, and then to put that guilt back on you, saying because you didn't do this and you didn't do that, causing relationships to fail, causing all of this stuff, and it's all just a damn lie. It's all a lie. So it's complete destruction of a family, of a relationship, of everything, of people's mental status. It's complete destruction of everything on purpose and unintentional to get money from your kids. That's it. That's the only reason that they're doing this stuff. Those people don't care. The training, they didn't even ask them a question about, do you talk about what's good for the child or not? No, they point blank said that, no, we train them to say that we don't get money unless you take the kid out of the house. She didn't try to interrupt that question and be like, oh, no, if, like we trained first. No, she said yes. I just burned your blood. Oh yeah, I got this one too. This Amelia Sutton case thing. This one is pretty good too. Check this out. Let's see here. All right, so I'll read this because I thought this is one that she spoke. It says, family courts in the violation of constitutional rights. This recent Supreme Court decision in Securities and Exchange Commission versus Jarsky is a crucial reminder of our constitutional right to a fair trial. In this case, the court ruled that administrative proceedings like those used by the SEC violated the Constitution because they denied the right to a jury trial and failed to follow due process or respect the separation of powers. And then it says, how does this apply to family court? Family courts often operate as an alternative dispute resolution system where due process is neglected, just like in Jarsky. Individuals in family court are frequently stripped of their constitutional rights. No jury trial, no proper discovery, no transparent procedures. This means critical decisions about our children are made without following the rules of evidence, due process, or giving parents a fair chance to be heard in a real court of law. Ford versus Ford, 1962, reminds us that a child's happiness and well-being frequently cannot be left to the discretion of parents. But does this mean we hand over our rights to a flawed, unchecked system? In Calder versus Bull, the court ruled that it is against all reason and justice for a people to entrust a legislature with such powers as to allow a judge to decide a case without impartiality and fairness. This is the song that I end my nighttime with. When family courts acts as a judge, jury, and executioner in private, non-legal settings, we're essentially returning to the days of unchecked power, just as in Jarsky family courts are violating the very principles and on which our justice system was built. Although family courts are often considered courts of equity, the Jarsky case reinforces that equity cannot be used as an excuse to deny basic constitutional rights. Even in these courts, due process, the right to be heard, and fairness must be upheld. It's time to demand that our constitutional rights, such as due process and the right to be heard, are restored in family court. It says family courts and the violation of constitutional rights. Oh, we already read it. So then it just repeats it over and over. Yeah. So check that out, guys. It's got those listings and the explanations for those. Damn, I thought this was a good one. Let me look here real quick and see if.
Send me that one too.
Yeah, I sure
In my
will.
email.
In the email. Yes, ma'am. Hold on a minute. Let me see here. You know what? While we're here, why don't we just look at a couple of these? Let's see. CPS lawyer tips. Let's see what we got here.
If CPS asks you to do a drug test and they have not gotten temporary managing conservatorship of your children, it is important for you to speak with an attorney. The first step you want to take is go and consult with an attorney, hire
here's
an
one that I
attorney,
wanted.
and find out what your next move is going to be.
Here we go.
Here are 3 tips to help you if you're being targeted by a corrupt Child Protective Services agent. Number 1, get the department head contact information and the direct supervisor's contact information. File a formal complaint of emotional distress with the governing body. Whoever is above that agency in your state, find out and go to them and make a complaint. Respond with questions to avoid entrapment, because that's all it is. Anybody could do this. Anybody. Remember to do all of the button things. That's how we grow.
Amelia's something really good. She has a bunch of good stuff that she.
ES case, listen up. Know your rights.
1. CPS
I love
actually
her too. I
can
love
talk to your
Katie.
children
Awesome.
without your consent. 2. But they cannot take your child from you unless they have a warrant, your consent, or facts that indicate that your child is in immediate physical danger. 3. A police officer is not a warrant. 4. CPS can be sued if they violate your civil rights. Violating your civil rights would include them taking your child without a warrant, without your consent, or without any facts indicating that your child is in immediate physical danger. So usually they don't try that last third little one, the immediate physical danger, unless it's really, really that. Okay? So do not give them consent to take your child if they do not have a warrant. 5. Your case file is not a secret. Okay? You have a right to have access to all of the reports, all of the information that's being filed in the court in regards to you. Okay? Not a secret.
If you're a parent with a
Hello, TikTokers. Welcome to Real Law Talk. I want to have a conversation about the secret weapon
Michael.
of CPS. What the real power of CPS is to begin with is that most people are not aware of them. And they don't know what they've done unless you've been affected or someone, a loved one or a friend has been affected. So if the cops come to the door, if you're sitting at home and a police officer comes to your door, everybody gets up. Everybody understands. That's the police. Something's going on. We must address the police. Everybody knows what police officers can do. And everybody gets a bit frightful. However, when a CPS worker comes to a family's home, the family's own innocence may work against them. Parents will say, oh, sure, my kids are there, they're fine, I've done nothing wrong, how can I help you? And that's the biggest mistake you can make. Speaking to CPS workers about anything may cause them to open a case against you, because when they come into your home, they're looking for a case to be built. They're in the business of either removing children or putting parents into useless services. That's the process in New York City. At the very minimum, they walk into a house and say, give us a drug test. How are you and your husband doing? How are you drinking? They get into, and the call may have been about a dirty diaper, because anybody, at least in New York, can call CPS on anybody else. There's no filter at all. I can call right now against you and wouldn't even know. So if CPS comes to your door, if somebody reaches out to you from CPS, it is important to spread this video out. Do not speak to them. And I'll keep saying that. I'll keep making these videos occasionally because it's that important. And that's Real Law Talk.
Good morning. I wanted to go through something real quick that I just posted on my website at thescatelesslaw.com. It's a blog or a post, and the title is The 8 Steps to Getting Through a CPS Investigation. Why 8? 8's a lucky number for me, and luck has a lot to do with how your investigation can go sometimes as well. You know, it kind of depends on how lucky you get with an investigator or that investigator's supervisor, because normally 9 times out of 10 the investigator's supervisor is calling the shots or making the decisions about your case. So real quick, number 1, as far as the 8 steps to getting through a CPS investigation, number 1 has to be know your rights. We talked about that before in another video that I made, but you know, knowing your rights obviously is important, and contacting an attorney immediately is very important. But you know, a lot of people can't afford an attorney, and that's the reason I'm making this video, is that reality. So if you can't contact an attorney, then try to, you know, do your best to know your rights. Obviously an attorney can help out more than anybody can on that. Number 2, don't avoid contact with the CPS investigator. CPS investigators can easily go get a court order, which is called an.
Now, how do you feel about that he just said that?
And you don't want to be in that situation.
What'd you say? Stop this for a minute.
Yeah. How do you feel about, so he just said, so Michael just said, don't talk to them, don't talk to them, don't talk to them, right?
Yeah.
Now this guy just said, don't avoid CPS.
This is
how does that?
90 days, no contact, no case.
Right.
That's
so avoid
it.
them, like, right.
Absolutely.
Every time you contact them, right. Every time you contact them, it reignites your contract with them, correct?
Yeah, don't talk to them at all. You have nothing to talk to them about. Turn
Right.
it up too, because I want to hear what else he's got to say.
All right, hold on here.
Is you're not cooperating. So there's a part of the Texas.
That's as loud as I can go.
CPS, as far as making sure, you know, there's some type of cooperation. Mainly, it allows them to be able to see the kids and interview them. So when I say number 2, don't avoid contact, I'm talking about letting them see your children. What we call lay eyes. Let them lay eyes on your children just to make sure they're doing okay, that they're okay.
Agree or disagree?
We're required by law to do this, so it doesn't help you to avoid contact at all.
I would agree.
Number 3.
If you have a glass sliding door or a screen door that is locked and the police are there, the police can look at the kids through the door.
Right.
Other than that, absolutely not. You don't show them shit.
Yep. That's it. Facts. I agree 100%. Let's see what else. Even my computer's like, nope, don't let this go.
The Freedom of Information Act.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
If you've been
now I just lost it. There we go. Where
Good
were we?
morning. I wanted to go through something real quick that I just investigator's supervisor, because but you know, knowing your
Number
rights
3.
obviously is important, and contacting an attorney immediately is very important. But you know, a lot of people can't.
What number were we?
attorney,
I know we're on
that's the
3, but
reason
what number is this here?
And the investigator supervisors calling the shots or making.
I think that one's part of 1.
Investigation can go sometimes as well. You know, it kind of depends.
Right.
Another video that talked about that before.
Yeah.
We talked about that before in another video that I made. But you know, knowing your rights obviously is important, and reality. So if you can't contact an attorney, then try to, you know, do your best to know your rights. Obviously, an attorney can help out more than anybody can on that. Number 2.
Two.
Don't I know it's scary to have CPS in your life and investigate what we call lay eyes.
There we go.
Let them lay eyes on your children just to make sure they're doing okay, that they're okay. They're required by law to do this. So it doesn't help you to avoid contact at all. Number 3, be polite. Don't panic. I know it's scary to have CPS in your life and investigating you, but don't panic and try to be as polite as you possibly can, because you're dealing with human beings. And anytime you're dealing with human beings, emotions are involved. And if you can be polite and you don't panic, that's always a good way to handle any situation, right? Number 4, I think this is extremely important, and this is something you might not hear unless you talk to an attorney. But I always tell my clients to have a backup plan. And what I mean by having a backup plan, that's facing a situation where CPS might want you supervised or place the children out of the home. CPS might want you supervised around your children. So the backup plan is having family members or friends ready to go at a moment's notice, so that they are ready to cooperate with CPS and be your supervisor. This can prevent CPS being forced to place your children in foster care. As much as people want to believe that CPS is out there trying to put put kids in foster care, that's not necessarily true. But sometimes they're forced to, because parents are like, I don't have anybody, and sometimes that's the truth. But if you have somebody, or if you can have somebody on the ready,
This must be a CPS worker.
even better. Family members,
I think he's a
friends
lawyer.
that you trust, and they can be your supervisor.
Yeah, a lawyer disguised as a CPS worker.
Out of foster care. Number 5, document all contact with the investigator. I think this is something that doesn't get done as much as it should. There's some things that have recently come out from the Texas legislature, which is important, and it talks about or it requires, CPS to go through your rights, stuff like that. And that's great and all, but you still want to record and you want to document, and you can record the interview, and that new law that came out and it notifies you of that. And the CPS investigator is supposed to go through that when they first sit down with you, and that you're allowed to record the interview. Okay. Be proactive. Be proactive about creating a backup plan, as we already discussed, and be proactive about working your services. If you have to work services. If you have questions about that, obviously, calling us or calling another attorney that does this type of stuff is important, because we could definitely help with you getting through services faster than, say, CPS can. Number 7, don't always read everything you see on the internet, or don't always believe everything you read on the internet. That goes with anything. Maybe, take what you read, or please take what you read with a grain of salt, okay? Because, a lot of people can put anything, as we already know.
Yeah, like you.
And number 8, the final one, always remember your words are evidence. So everything you say to CPS, to a CPS investigator or caseworker, can and will be used against you. So that's extremely important one. Remember, everything you say is evidence. Okay? Thanks for listening.
All right. Stop sharing. All right. So that guy there reminded me of a complete idiot in a plant. Yeah, right. Thank you, Tim. Get rid of that lawyer. Right. Debbie asked what happens when you don't hear from that worker, but that guy was a complete moron. Don't disregard whatever that guy says.
Yeah, I wouldn't hire him, because obviously people who've been through it or have been doing this for over 30 years, we know a lot more than him. Now the girl that was on before him,
Yeah, Keisha, she's awesome.
I've been saying everything that she said for the last 30 years, especially about the caseworkers not trying to give up your file. It is yours. It has your damn name on it, and it has information in there that you can use in your defense.
Yep.
These people or nerve
I'm gonna
wracking.
make a new video. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna make a new video. So let's talk about this. We'll talk about this. Let's do the 8 things to do in a CPS case. First thing is what? Don't talk to them at all, right? Tell them to go back for a warrant.
The first thing is to turn your goddamn cameras on.
All right. Yes. Okay.
The second thing is, if they call the police, do not panic. The police are only there to intimidate you and to protect the CPS worker. They are not there to protect your rights. You tell everybody, don't ask them anything. If they say anything to you, the only thing you say is, get off my property. If they continue, say, I know what my rights are and you are in violation of my constitutional and my civil rights. Walk in the house, lock the door behind you. So that's number 2. Do not bring your children outside. If the police say, can we see the kids? Tell them, if you must, you can stand at the front door through the glass door, whatever. Make sure there's a door between you that is locked. If not, tell them no. The other thing is, you all need to send a paper to the school that says, if anybody talks to my child without me being present or their advocate or lawyer, you will be sued, from the principal all the way down to the janitor.
Mm-hmm. Or get the card from us.
Or what?
Or get the warning under the age of 18, the child's rights card that we have.
Yes, actually, you need to send that to me, because I am going to do that, even though I've already done mine and they know better. They better not talk to him about anything other than education. And I am not the one to be played with, because I've already taken on the school board twice and won. I'm not the one, right? And I'm telling you, my new philosophy for this year is, because I've just had it, is fuck around and find out.
Yeah, that's the one to have.
Try that shit with me and see how far you get.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that? I don't even think there's 8 things. Contact the lawyer.
Turn on the camera. Police are there to protect CPS workers. Don't bring your children outside. Keep them in there. So we're on number 4. Contact the school. Right.
Yeah.
So school is contact the school. Yeah.
And I have that. I will send it to you if people want it. They just have to add their information to it.
Okay.
And that goes for daycare too. Anytime your child is not with you, that person that's watching your child or who has your child should have that piece of paper. And I even had mine notarized. So it's a legal binding contract.
Okay.
Do not consent to anything. Don't talk to them. Use your 5th Amendment right to shut the fuck up. And that's what you do, because they really do use everything against you. And I'm going to say this. I cannot remain calm when a CPS worker and 12 police officers show up on my property. So that one is used to your own discretion. I'm just built different from a lot of people, and I'm just not taking none of their shit. Don't answer any questions. I would ask them why they're there, because an anonymous call is not a reason to talk to your children.
So do you want to put that on the list? Ask them, because you just told them, do not consent to anything. Don't say anything. Shut the fuck up. So do you want to say that on your list?
You can ask them if you want. Put it that way. You can ask them if you want, because my question to her was, why are you here? And she was like, because we got a call. I said, okay, so why are you here? I don't give 2 fucks about a call. So yeah, that one can be open. You decide what you want to do. I don't even think that there's 8 things.
Well, we've got to put no warrant, right? Ask about the warrant.
Oh, and make sure that there's a difference between a warrant and a removal order. Because even with a removal order, they still have to get a warrant to come inside the house and take the child.
So a preliminary protection order isn't a reason to take a child, right?
A preliminary protection order?
That's what they call them up here, PPO.
Okay, so is the child's name on it?
It must be, I'm assuming, yeah.
Well, if the child's name's on it and it's an order of protection and it's from the courts, that is not a reason unless there is a reason to fear that the child will be harmed and the child will be removed from the judge at the time of the PPO. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I've had PPOs before and my children's names were on them for their safety and CPS did not show up at my door.
Difference.
And anyway, the Nicholson case already says even if there's domestic violence, you cannot remove a child from the home.
Right. Yep. So that brings us to number 8.
Do not argue with these people. They are going to try and try and try and try. All you have to do is walk in the house and shut the door or do what I did. This bitch said, we're coming in your house. Okay, now she already knows that I know she cannot enter my home. She knows that I know, and I've said the police can't even enter my home. But you're still going to say, oh, I have to come in and check your home. My exact words were, get a warrant. Keep your doors locked, your windows locked, your shades drawn, your curtains, whatever it is, even if it's during the day and these people are outside, go in the house and shut your house down and lock that bitch down like it's Fort Knox. Those 2 windows or those 2 bay doors that they were looking through, Darren, on that body cam footage.
Yep.
The very next day, my husband put window tint, privacy tint on those windows because he does window tint and we do detailing. Those windows were tinted the very next day.
That's a good idea.
Every window in my house has window tint on it. Every window in my house.
I knew that was coming. Mary just said in the background, we got to do that here.
Yeah. And I tinted the house windows and my husband did those doors outside. Even my screen door, that's my storm door or whatever.
Uh-huh.
First, I had the tent where you could see inside just to keep the sun out.
Yeah.
After that, we had frost tent left over because we do businesses and residential stuff too. We had enough left over. I even put the frost on my screen door and I cut a little hole so I could peek out.
That's funny as hell. That's funny shit.
Yep. No bullshit. My whole house has got residential tent on it and my screen doors and my bay doors or whatever you want to call them, they all have the frost tent where you cannot see in and you cannot see out.
Yep. They want to know, Debbie wants to know what happens if you do not hear from your caseworker.
Well, she's still on it. They're just biding time. Have you ever heard the saying, I'm just biding time, biding my time? That's all they're doing. They're biding their time.
Yeah, just getting to that next point that they got to get to.
Yep. Just waiting. Because they're on a time limit.
Yep. Unreal. I can't believe that lawyer. Man. I can't believe there's so many people out there that are trying to help people that don't know shit.
Well, what makes me mad is that he said, "Oh, don't believe everything you see on the internet." Well, first of all, that's an automatic thing, right? Okay, you got to research and research and research. But people like us are out here spreading the word, and he's telling us don't believe everything that people are saying on the internet.
Yep.
If it wasn't for people like us coming out now, especially now that it's blowing up, lawyers would still be doing the same bullshit that they've been doing.
Yep. Taking people's money and not giving them their kids back.
Yeah. So people also need to ask their lawyers, if they're not court appointed and you're paying for them, you need to tell them you want an accounting of the services that they've rendered. There you go. Everybody needs to buy that book.
Yep. And then watch out, because me and Tiff's book's coming out too. We should have that in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be the next one in this line of books. But yeah, go to Amazon. I'll put the link up here. You guys check this out. Buy it. You should definitely have this book. Sorry, I had to get my plug in.
No, that's fine. I told you, you need to promote that every chance you get.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it. That's it, folks. That's what you need to do. That's what needs to be done.
Oh, and I will tell you something else. And I tell parents this all the time. I even have them myself. I just don't post them because they know I'm the big mouth blonde bitch in this area and they will not fuck with me. So I don't do this. But I tell parents, go to Google child's declaration or child's Bill of Rights, and it'll come up all these little things about the bill. Print them off. Child's Constitution, their understanding. Print them off. Print the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 14th, and the 7th on your door. 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th on your door. So when they come up, they will already know what they're dealing with.
Oh yeah. And that's all we need to know. Don't do anything else.
Nope. Just post them on your door. Get them laminated, post them on your door so they're weatherproof.
Yep. Let them blow in the wind.
Yep.
Well, I think that's good enough for today, Tiff. I think we leave it just as that one. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right, everybody. We'll be back. Same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you check out tonight's show. We got 10 o'clock tonight. We got the CPS Victims on Injustice. And Tiff's got to get back to the daycare. All right, Tiff. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody. We'll see you all tonight, later on, whatever it is. But we're out of here. Have a good night.
Look outside, the cars on the road, the police on the yard waiting in limbo. Your life is changing so fast, looking out the window. In just a moment and things will turn back. Prepare for the next part, it's real sad. Like McDonald's, they say hello, sir. We need your daughter. I tell them no. They say you wanna get word to us now. I tell them no way, go away, never come back. They answer with force and pin you down. They search all the rooms and look around. They find your baby girl. They tell me we got her. Now your family is torn apart, pleading your innocence from the start. Nobody listens, nobody cares. All you're left with is empty stairs. The house is empty, no love to be felt. They grabbed your baby, it's a feeling you never felt. You fight so hard to have her return. All they do is torture, you are feeling like burn. You do what they say, answer the question. They just keep telling you that you need lessons. You're not worthy of being a father. We don't want you to see your daughter. which you have done. But well, say you're guilty, this has begun. We are taking your heart, your soul. You'll be alone now as you grow old. You are on the way to die. No one will be there to cry. All by yourself, you can't do a thing. No one wants you around. No one believes you did nothing wrong. You gave your best fight. There was nothing you could do. I'll always remember the lonely December who took my heart out for nothing. There was no reason for what was done. No one listened, not one. As I lay dying on this bed, my visions are you running through my head. I'm sorry for nothing. I didn't do enough. I thought about you always. I didn't do enough. One day I'll be with you again, living in a world that you are in. Maybe that time I'll do it right. I'll be able to say goodnight. But for now, this life is over. There will be no more pain. I won't miss you in shame. I don't have to play this game. The unfair life that I was living, it's no memory. Hope you can be forgiven. I had it all once. They took it all away. So good night, sweet